to Mr. Speechcraft Master. And Toastmasters and our Speechcrafters. One of the most frequent things people say when they join Toastmasters or when they think about Toastmasters is, what do I want to talk about? My life isn't that interesting. What do I talk about? Well, in your Speechcraft program, you're going to be speaking probably 3 times. The first speech will be an icebreaker. That's easy to figure out because the topic is you. You're going to tell us about yourself even more than we discussed in the introductions. And then there'll be 2 other speeches. We won't tell you the topic it has to be, but just the basic requirements of that topic. But let me give you a handout that will help you pick a topic. And I'll ask the Toastmasters to pass these to the Speechcrafters. I didn't make enough, I don't think, for everyone. And so now you are going to do some work. I want you to take a pencil to your paper, and in 15 seconds, think of 3 successes that you've had in your life that you'd like to tell us all about. Because we all like to hear about how people have done wonderful things that we would like perhaps to do. But we all want to see other people succeed, and that includes in speaking, because we are all going to want to see each of us who gives a speech do as best as we can. So once you have 3 successes, the next thing is 3 challenges you've had in your life. Now, audiences love to hear about problems that you face, because most likely they have faced similar problems, and they want to see if you came up with the same solution they did, or if you came up with a better solution. And once you have 3 of those, the next is faux pas. The best kind of humor to use in a speech is humor about yourself. Dumb things that you've done, mistakes that you've made. Because the audience also likes to think, hey, I'd never do something like that. So they want to be able to laugh internally about what you've done. So faux pas. Then 3 people, as was mentioned in the table topics, who have made a difference in your life. Your spouse, your children, one of your parents, a boss, a teacher, who really made a difference. And finally, what are you really passionate about? What brings out the emotional side of you? Because when you speak, people may not remember all that you said, but they will remember how you made them feel. If you can bring out the emotions in yourself and stir the emotions in others, that will make for an effective speech. Now, on the back of the sheet, I have a few hints that I put down. Remember, the speech is not you, for you. The speech is for the audience. So you should think about what the audience is thinking. So what? Why should I care about what you're talking about? What's in it for me? So there always should be something that the audience can take away from what you're saying. It's all about me. Entertain me. Teach me. Now you remember that human beings have only been writing for a few thousand years. Before that, we told each other stories. So the human brain is wired for stories. We love to hear stories. We love to tell stories. So the thing we always say is facts tell. particularly in business speeches, facts tell, but stories sell. So no matter what kind of speech you're giving, it should have a story involved so that the audience can catch it. So think of an event, one of the ones you've listed on the other side, relive that event, and then create a story and link it to a lesson, and that makes a very effective speech. And then there's the audience reactions, which I mentioned before about, is the speaker similar or different than me? Did they solve the same problems I did? If you can make them laugh, laughter is the only reaction you're going to really hear from the audience. And if they laugh, you're getting your message across, and it makes the message go down easily. And the two things you want to do when you're speaking, you want the audience to remember, and you want the audience to repeat. So what's the audience going to remember about what you're saying, and what? You should always have a catchphrase that they can repeat themselves, and this is what happens. And the thing to remember is that everything that happens to you in life is speech material. And most likely your tragedies in life will be your best speeches. You won't think so at the time that they happen to you. It will turn out that they will make great speeches. So I hope this has helped you to give you some hints about how you can come up with some speech topics, and how you can relate to the audience when you get those topics. Good luck, speech crafters. Look forward to working with you over the next 6 weeks. So, Mr. Toastmaster, thank you.
Speechcraft Master. I didn't have a book for Charlie's speech, but I picked a speech from the Confident Communicator's manual that I decided to evaluate him on based off of his presentation. And the one that I chose is Motivating Your Audience, which I felt fit very well for Charlie's presentation. The structure of his presentation I thought was assembled really well because of Charlie's vast experience with Toastmasters and with public speaking. He does a phenomenal job pretty much every time that I've seen him do a speech. So again, he did a very, very good job. His vocal variety, which is one of the things that I really think makes Charlie stand out, was excellent throughout this. And with the vocal variety, it's the rising of the volume and speaking softer and louder and changing pitches. And that's one of the things I think is really important when drawing people into a speech. When you hear somebody talking, you're like an old teacher or something like that from school, they're all monotone, wants to put you to sleep. Well, adding vocal variety is one thing that Charlie does very well, and that's one thing that he does to keep his audience very well engaged. There was one thing that I noticed that he was doing, and I'm not sure, it was just something that I noticed, and it looked like you were fidgeting in your pocket once or twice in the first maybe third of your speech. So I wasn't quite sure what was going on there, and I don't know if you just had a flap or something that wasn't working right or whatever, but that was something that I did notice that I thought was a little bit detracting. In a few Toastmaster meetings, maybe even the last one, John actually pointed out that Charlie, I don't think I've ever heard him say I've maybe heard him say once. He never says he doesn't use any of the other vocal or filler words that a lot of other people use, but John had picked up on him using the word now, I believe it was, right? So now is his filler word, and I did not catch you saying the word now at all in this presentation. So kudos to there. And Charlie also has I believe a company that he works with called Love and Laughter.
Learning with Laughter.
Learning with Laughter. So he's very great at adding humor and things like that into his presentation and his speeches. And I thought you did very well with that. You made a lot of us laugh multiple times throughout it. I heard it, might have noticed myself as well as some other people in the audience. And I, being an avid reader, I like reading Jeffrey Gitomore's books a lot. And one of the things that Jeffrey Gittomore talks in there is like, if you can make them laugh, you can make them buy. And Charlie, I would congratulate you because you made me want to write another icebreaker. So, thank you very much.